That's what it'll be like when I play with the kids. Today, we're going to learn the lyrics to all the Beastie Boys songs.
Even the instrumental version.
Yeah.
What
What I'm trying to say is, shut up.
A dating website survey of their clients found that the world's sexiest women are Armenian.
Yeah. Evidently, male clients find a woman with a mustache extremely sexy. Like, people have to understand. I know where this comes from. This comes from the Kim Kardashian stereotype of like, oh, that's hot. Well, in England, where I grew up, there are lots of Armenians, and being hairy with a big ass. Like, you got to understand that Kim Kardashian is there's been a lot of Californication that went on there with the Armenian stereotype. A lot of work went into crowbarring the large ass and the mustache into a place in popular culture where people found it attractive. You go to Armenia, it's not what you're going to run into, left, right, and center, just so we're crystal clear on this one. I'm not saying there aren't attractive women in Armenia, but yeah. If you're thinking of vacationing, if you're thinking of taking part in a little bit of sex tourism, yeah, Armenia, probably not where you want to end up. Go on, Funkhauser.
Let's see. A new research shows that America's Hispanic population is growing faster than expected.
Which is tough news for the opponents of immigration, but awesome news for factories that make Jesus candles. Go on.
A female humanoid robot is on display at an internet conference in China.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And so far, not one programmer has worked up the nerve to talk to her. All right. More news.
A new app will examine a guy's photo and determine how manly he is.
An app will examine a guy's photo and determine how manly he is. I don't know. I would imagine users are rated on a scale of, at the bottom end, Bieber, to the top end, Hillary Swank. Go on.
Believing in God makes us feel protected from harm.
Yeah, it's a value of religion. It makes it feel like someone's looking out for you, watching your back. Believing in God makes us feel protected from harm, which explains Detroit's new slogan, pray before entering. Speaking of feeling protected from harm, that's apropos. There's the Congressional Black Caucus tells Obama that the thugs who have been rioting in Baltimore are not thugs. They are apparently youth, teenagers who are misguided. Some people would call this criminal apology, or would call the Congressional Black Caucus criminal apologists. Whatever spin you want to put on it, they're denouncing Obama for calling rioters thugs. The chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, G.K. Butterfield, said these are children, these are high school students, and I would not want to classify them as thugs. Thugs is like this blanket slang term. It's not a classification. A classification is something that you do in biology class in the 6th grade. How would you classify this plant or this animal? Thug is not a classification. He said certainly they are lawbreakers, but they're still children. These are youth. These are teenagers who are misguided, who don't have the same maturity that adults have, and I would not venture to call them thugs. Also saying that a kid that just got out of high school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Baltimore and got caught up, and he's thrown a rock and has no criminal record. He's not a thug, okay? Mississippi Democrat Benny Thompson says that not everyone caught up in Baltimore's protests deserve the White House's characterization of thug. He says, I don't know if all lawbreakers, if we can call them all thugs. Thugs have a different connotation. Name-calling won't get us anywhere. And apologizing and telling these thugs that they're victims will? No, you're a victim. You were caught up. Now, people that are doing wrong, people that are causing wanton destruction in Baltimore or anywhere where there's rioting, it's a cathartic thing, but it serves no good. You riot, you lose. You just lose. What point are you making? You're making the point that you're annoying. You're getting attention, and it's attention of, well, you claim to be the victim of hate. You know what's going to make people hate you even more? Throwing a rock through their window. But I will say this. Not wanting to be short-sighted and not wanting to take into account the age of these people that are rioting. I don't know about you, but when I was a high school kid, and up till, I would say, about 2-3 years ago, I didn't know anything about anything. I'm sure I'll say the same thing about myself when I'm 50 with regard to now. But I really didn't know anything about anything. No, you don't know yourself when you're in high school. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You're not operating with the clutch of adulthood fully engaged. And yeah, someone hits 18, they're legally an adult, and they can be tried as an adult. But I go back to saying this over and over again. Education. Look, everyone wants to get people young. Car manufacturers want to get people young. Gangs want to get people young. Political parties want to get people young. Young minds are impressionable. Young minds haven't formed themselves yet. Young minds are easy to mold. Education. The idea of possibility. The idea that there's more that you can do than throw a rock through someone's window, than hold up a liquor store. Education on the other side of the world means there's more than you can do than strap a bomb to your chest and walk into a public place. Education. It's that sense of possibility. And while I don't agree with cutting rioters slack, I do agree with the fact that young minds that have grown up in an environment where this is all they know, where this is the example that's been set for them, it's a ticking time bomb. It's a sociological gun pointed at their head that they're going to do and say something wrong. What can we do about it? Very little, other than offer education and keep stressing education to give people a sense of possibility, to give youth a sense of possibility that there's more they can do to express themselves than heave a brick at a police officer. Education. Get them young. Turn them into smart people. Turn them into good people. Education. It's my answer to pretty much everything, but I think that's because it works.